So I'll just go ahead and go right to
Okay.
the front end now. So here's what the cashier would see. I'm just going to kind of ring up a few sample items. For product lookup, we do allow categories. So within these categories, I have other pictures, and we can go like multiple, I mean, I think it's infinite levels deep if you wanted to, but let's say they don't know the code for bananas, which is 4011.
Right.
They go and look it up here.
Okay.
And they could use the pictures while they're still learning the codes. Do you use the universal produce codes?
I have it in the system. I mean, we don't ever do a lookup because it's a challenge to do a lookup on the system that we have. We use InfoTouch right now, which, I don't know. It's the first POS system that we jumped into, and we were novices, and we learned a lot, but you know how it is.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They have a lookup, but it's a challenge. So I guess to answer your question is nobody knows PLU codes for anything. They're in the computer system but I kind of did it a little different because we're sort of in the semi-organic but not official organic. So I just threw a 7 in front of all the PLU codes. So we got the same PLU codes you'd have for bananas, but I just have it in the computer system as a 74011 or whatever it happens to be. I don't even know the PLU codes.
Okay.
So, that could be changed. I just did an export of our data, and I'm just like, one of the things I just a lot of the stuff in the data side that I just don't like about our system. It exported in a way that I'm like, I couldn't re-import this back into my own system, which drives me nuts. But it is at least useful. I have like all the stuff that we're working with right now, and I can do a little data manipulation on it and clean it up for a new data import into a new system. But there's so many weird things about it. But anyway.
Let me jump into that and kind of address that.
Sure.
So here's our back office, which is cloud.
Yeah.
You unlimited logins. So no limitation on how many you have. Basically,
that's cool. Yeah.
You can give any of your employees back-end access, and you can restrict what they see using our roles, which I'll get into in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
This store, here's the dashboard.
Yeah.
I can go to yesterday's date to see yesterday's dashboard.
Okay.
Digesting the data from revenue by color wheel.
Right.
Top 10. But I'm going to go ahead and go to administration category, point of sale manager. So this is all like the settings, yeses and nos, stuff that you would pretty much set up once and leave it alone. Our onboarding team would go through your entire store. What do you want your receipt to say? Do you want discounts shown on the receipt? Do you want, whatever? There's a bunch of them. But basically, I went to the screen because I wanted to show you. I can hit export products from this button down here.
Right.
This store has 8,000 products.
Right.
And I basically just exported 8,000 products to an Excel sheet in like 5 seconds. So here's how our system looks at the data from a spreadsheet point of view.
Okay, yeah. No, that's good. You even have headers. I was like so annoyed. I'm like, wow, I export all this stuff. There's not even headers on here. I'm like, why? This is so crazy. Anyway.
We'll do this for you. You give us your sheet. We'll manipulate the columns. We'll make it look like ours.
Okay.
And let's say, you know what? I want to start scratch and scan everything. You can do that too. Obviously, this is faster, but it really kind of depends on how many. If you've got like 10,000 products, let us do an import for you. But if you've got like 500 products and you wanted to go clean and start from scratch, you might want to. It's a preference. But basically, we get a spreadsheet and we make the final result look something like this.
Right.
Then we go to mass import right here, and it's basically a drag and drop. You drop the CSV file into here, and it populates your products file for you.
Okay, yeah, because you have it already formatted once.
Yep. Let's say you change vendors or wholesalers. You can do an add or an update. Maybe you want to do a mass product change to everything in one department. You can do that spreadsheet style if you wanted to.
Right.
Likewise, we give you the spreadsheet kind of feature right here if you wanted to adjust by vendor. Let me just pull up this vendor, and then you can make price changes.
Okay.
spreadsheet style if you wanted
Oh,
to.
so there, that makes, okay, no, that's cool.
You can change anything in here spreadsheet style. You can do it by department. You can pull up, you can do it onesie twosie. You can pull up whole tax categories. So the mass product editor allows you to really manipulate all your data in a quick way.
That's pretty nice. Okay, yeah.
You're kind of advanced, so I'm just going to jump into the back office right here. And if there's something you want to see, just stop me at any time. This product. So here's UPC. It's a 002, which means it's a random weight.
Okay.
So when the computer reads this product, it knows to read the price out of the barcode.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's priced per pound.
Right.
And there's a cost associated there. We give you a dashboard of the product's performance today, yesterday.
Okay.
But one really nice feature is like a lot of grocers use margins.
Yeah.
So the price of salmon changes all the time. Let's say the cost changed to $6.99. So I'm going to go ahead and change $6.99.
Sure.
The margin's adjusted for me automatically.
Right.
So let's say, okay, I want to do 80% profit margin this week. Watch what happens to the price field when I adjust the margin. It calculated automatically.
Right.
So it takes the math out of, you don't have to do the math if you don't want to.
Well, that's interesting. Now, what you were doing there is like it was auto-calculating the profit margin, but then it allowed you to just put a new one in, and then it would re-auto-calculate everything. You didn't have to like tell it what to calculate from. It's just calculating from the last entry you put in.
Right. So these fields are all tied together. So if you change one of them, it'll change.
Right.
It'll change the others and automatically update it for you.
Yeah, but I'm just like, it just seems too easy. It's like whatever the last thing you put in is what it follows as the directive to go with.
Grocers really like it.
No, it's cool. So like if you change the cost, the price would automatically change. Okay.
Yep.
Because you're leaving the markup. All right, so change the cost to like $5. And then you click out of it, and then the price so the price doesn't change, but the markup and profit margin do.
You got it.
Okay, but that looks like it'd be easy enough to play around with and see how it works. So
it's by design for now, because if you change the cost but you don't have let's say you have your margin set.
Yeah. You set it by item or by department or?
This one is done by individual product.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
But basically, this is just to show you all the different properties for this product. It is scalable. It is food stampable. Pack size, expiration, tear weight, discount levels, so different pricing methods. This is a group threshold pricing with a start and end date. I can do unit pricing or split package pricing, all the different grocery options.
So here's a question I have for you. On the discount split package with price.
Okay.
Say, how do I learn how to do that? Do you have a tutorial? Do I call you? Do I email you? Do you have like an instruction book I can go to?
We do. We have a knowledge base.
Okay.
It's ITRetail.
Yeah.
.com/knowledge base or something like that. I can send it to you. But we also, that's included in your training and your tech support, which is included also. So you can...
for the first month, or if we want to extend it, we can extend it.
Yes, you can. But we do have the knowledge base that you can access anytime for free.
Yeah.
Email support is always free.
Okay.
We do have a write-up on all these different options. Within the knowledge base, there's a full write-up just on that section.
Because we have, in terms of inventory, we have basically all of our produce we think of as cases, and then within that case there might be 40 pounds of produce. So it's kind of like we don't actually have 40 units, like say bananas. We got 40 pounds of bananas in one case. And like when we do inventory, we normally think of our inventory in cases, but when we do sales, we think of it in pounds. So I don't really know how to set it up into the system, and this whole splitting out the package thing seems like it would work nicely, but I don't even know how to set that up in our current system. I just gave up because
I think we help you with that. Like, so when you receive stuff,
Yeah.
like here's a product I know we sell by weight.
Right.
I'm going to, instead of receiving by units, because I configured this product to be sold by weight, I receive it by pounds.
Right. See, I was thinking, I don't know if I just need to do that, like instead of inventorying like 2 cases of bananas, I'm like, oh, our inventory is 80 pounds of bananas. And we can make that change, but I just, you know.
I mean, it just depends on how you want to do it. I would say if you sell it by weight, you should receive it by weight.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Other products, let me go ahead and, here's this packet of marinade. I'm going to receive it 2 cases, 6 in each case, and then I just added that to the inventory.
Right. Okay.
And then what else is on the truck? Apples came in, or here, apple butter came in.
So it has sort of a smart lookup. I like that.
Well, this field you can scan, or you can do a UPC, a description, or an item code. It takes all 3.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact that it helps you and you don't have to have like an exact match, you get to pick from a list. Like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yes. And then if I'm going to go ahead and look at the inventory as a whole store, so here's my entire store, which is way too confusing. So I'm going to break it down by vendor. Here's the Cisco vendor.
Okay. Yeah.
Quantities, low inventory thresholds, price costs, how much sold within the last time period. You'll see I've got some negative inventory on here. So let's say if the truck comes in and normally you receive the inventory, but a cashier called out sick, so you're at the register.
Okay.
The vendor just comes in, he puts it on your floor for you. He's trying to be nice. He gives you the sheet. You're at the check stand and you don't have time to enter the inventory that day. It doesn't get entered. Basically, as you still sell those items on the store, even though you didn't enter the inventory, it'll still count negative for you.
Okay.
You can still tell how much stock you went through.
Right. That's really nice.
Because
what did I sell?
Nobody does inventory 100% perfect.
Yeah, isn't that right?
Let me go to another vendor. Let's go to a really big vendor. Here's Unify. That's an enormous vendor.
Sure, yeah.
I got negative all over the place.
Okay.
But for the most part, the store tries to do their best of receiving. Right. But the system's only going to be as good as you are.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
And then inventory value is a really handy one to kind of gauge. So if you are doing inventory, let's say 90% accurately, here's my grocery department. I've got 10,000 pieces in my grocery department with a total cost value of about 50 grand and a total price value of about 91,000.
Right. Okay.
So my total store, about $300,000 of inventory with a cost of 183.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
You can do it by product as well.
Yeah.
But I just find it's a little bit easier to do it by department.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the front end for a second to make sure I didn't miss anything that you wanted to see on the front. The front's really easy. We typically a cashier will learn the front end in like 15 minutes and just be checking, no problem.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So for all our weighed items, we're going to be doing a product lookup, or if we knew the code, we could just enter the code right in the top box.
That's right. So this field right here handles all the keystrokes. So let's say I wanted to ring up something manually. The scale's broken. I'll put $5 manual measure, which is an MM code.
Okay.
And I'll do filet mignon for that price. I just manually weighed five pounds at $8.99 for filet, which is way too cheap. But anyway.
Yeah, right.
Just as an example. The product lookup is designed by categories.
Right.
So you can put the pictures. I just put a bunch of coffees on the screen right there. You can also do a product search, and you can search by description or UPC. Like here, I just found baby food really fast.
Right. If you have a keyboard, it works especially well. Although with a touch screen, it's not too bad.
So we give you the keyboard right here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest with you. Like if you have a race between a point of sale keyboard and a touchscreen, a keyboard's going to win 10 times out of 10.
Oh, okay.
There is no contest. Touchscreens are cooler. The younger generation's growing up with them, so they like them.
Yeah.
Old school checkers who are really fast, they know a point of sale keyboard because all these things right here have codes, keystroke code.
Keyboard shortcuts. Oh, okay.
So like for baby food, if I had VD up at the top, that stands for void. So it takes keyboard strokes in here too, but we also give you the button down here. I'm going to refund an item on here. Anyway, so it takes keyboard strokes or touchscreen strokes, and all these buttons have the keyboard strokes embedded. You can have both. You can have both a point of sale keyboard and a touchscreen at one terminal.
Right. Yeah, I saw the one picture like that.
So I'm going to hit the total button. Unlimited split tendering, so partial cash, partial credit, partial gift card, any denomination. When I hit the cash feature, it has a nice denomination. It's like a smart denomination. So any possible, like if they pay with 320s, then you just it's really fast. Cashiers love that for speed rather than keying in exactly what they received.
Yeah. If you can do the math, yeah, I know. That's what we do right now. It's just easier.
So there's a quantity button. I'm going to put 5 quantity. I just rang in 5 breads. There's an enforce quantity button on that product. So let me go to that product. So let's say like Crystal Geyser 6-pack of sparkling water. It has the same exact barcode on the 6-pack as an individual does.
Right, okay.
So what we do, so instead of them ringing the 6-pack and it rings up number 1, we hit the enforce quantity button. So it forces the cashier, they cannot continue without entering in a quantity for that particular product.
Okay. But then they'd know whether to put a 1 or a 6. I guess they just have to learn it.
Well, they'd look at what they have in their hand and they'd be able to tell at that point. But the system will stop them. Just like if I rang up, like if here's a product not found, I scan this UPC, I have the option of not selling it, or I can add it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making up
Yeah, sure.
price. And then you can give it food stampable or not, scalable, assign it a tax. You can even give it a special price or a discount with a start date and end date. That's if they wanted to do that. You can allow that or not. Okay. All these buttons are configurable with permissions and security.
Right.
You can give them as much access or as little access to things as you want. Likewise, there's a price check feature where if I hit the price check button and then I scan the product, it shows me how much it was, department, and you can either hit OK to sell it or just cancel out of it.
Right.
Refunds, voids, all the different miscellaneous features. We do have a time clock on here.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and cash this transaction out, and then I'm going to sign off this cashier so you can see what the splash screen looks like. The employees cannot get behind this.
Okay.
So they can't use Windows or surf the internet or do anything like that. They can basically sign on, sign off, or access the time clock.
Okay.
But I'm signing off with code number 99. And now let's say, an employee comes on shift. In between an order, they can still use the time clock. It won't affect the sale. Basket discounts, percentage off discounts. I applied a 10% discount to the basket. That can be a manager override feature or not. Other manager functions, pay-ins, payouts, adding customers, checking a gift card balance, activating a card, loading a card, checking a EBT balance. What's something on the front end that you do now that you might want to see how we handle?
Uh, well, yeah, something on the front end. Sorry, I was a little distracted. People trying to get in touch with me, and I'm like, no, leave me alone.
That's no problem at all.
Like right now, I guess.
The front's really intuitive. Cashiers pretty much learn it in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it wouldn't be a big deal. Really, it's just a question of like, if we have, we got green beans, how are we gonna like know? We throw them on the scale, and the price is in the system. If this register knows we're selling green beans, or if we got eggplant or green squash, yellow squash, and it's just or all the different items. I'm just trying to. I don't like 3 years ago we just had to memorize all the prices for all the different things or make it up as you go, and that's not really optimal.
A lot of stores print out hot sheets.
Yeah. And once you get used to where stuff is on there, that's cool. But I know when I'm in a hurry, I can't read anything. My brain just like skips over everything, thinking I'll be able to see zucchini, and I just maybe if it's alphabetical, but we got to like our Hispanic staff, like they read okay, and I don't know who supplies the pictures. The words would probably be enough because that's all we have right now in our register right now. Is we go to I have like a department, whether it's fruits or vegetables, or whether we got like meat or eggs, and then it's broken down into different types of stuff. But you say you got like we would go to produce. I could probably, instead of going to produce, I could just go straight to vegetable or fruit if I wanted to.
Yeah, you can have unlimited categories with layers, multiple layers. Basically in the back, let me go to the admin section. It's the product lookup designer. This is where we add those pictures. So you add all the categories, and then you go within categories, and then you add the images. So you can go as deep as you want.
Yeah, I don't mind adding images. It just means I got to have images to add. I don't have a photo library like that. So, but I guess make one sometime. But yeah, so I feel like it would probably have the same type of layer, just hit product lookup like every single time. And really, then it becomes a question of how quickly does it go from the button to the next screen? How and it. I don't know if it goes as quickly as you're flashing through it. If it does, that's cool. If it doesn't, like our current system, it's just a tiny little lag between every screen lookup, and it's not like terrible. We've gotten used to it, but it'd be cool if it was faster.
It's designed to stay on the page, but see, if I do the produce, it's all designed to be scalable, so it's not letting me fool the system.
Right.
Because I don't have anything on the scale.
Right.
Whereas this section, I could just click them all day long, and you can see that it's ringing them up at the bottom here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's fast.
Gotcha.
I could show you. I could simulate way faster than.
Yeah.
I clicked a billion times, and it kept up.
You saved. Yeah, the coffee's on sale.
Yeah. I just rang up $50 worth of coffee, like really quickly.
Coffee's for everyone. All right. So, I mean, and at this point, and I so just for sake of argument, if I'm doing receiving, entering in inventory at my back office laptop, I would just go into, I guess, our same system, and then I would be in this screen, or in, not administration. I'd go in an inventory screen on here. I'd go to the dashboard and I'd hit inventory screen. Yeah. We use Square receive a product, and then I could always hit, if I wanted to add a product, I'd just go to the product tab, right? Okay.
That's right. You'd add a new product.
Now, if I had a barcode, a handheld barcode scanner back in the office, which I have, like, do I enter in the information and then scan a UPC, like, to have it pop up there?
I would. So all these fields,
yeah,
do they do receive barcodes. So let me get rid of this product. I'm gonna hit new right here. I don't want to save the changes. So this is a scannable field. You can use a hand scanner to scan in that product.
Okay.
The first thing is the UPC, and then you enter the description of whatever it is.
Right.
And then you select the department and then the price.
Okay.
Cost, market, margin, all that, and then the different properties. You can change the quantity on hand from this screen. You can give it a vendor item code, a low inventory alert threshold, how many items come in each case, assign it a tax. Let's say it's a product that's a plastic or aluminum. You can give it a bottle deposit associated with it. Age, if it's an alcohol product, you can assign it 21 or 18, so if it's lottery, alcohol, tobacco.
Right.
And then let's say, like, okay, this is a really nice feature. So here's my Coca-Cola product. Let's say the Coke vendor comes in, he says, hey, I'm going to give you a case of Coke Lime for free. I'm going to go ahead and put it on your shelf, but you don't have a UPC for it. So here I have the Coca-Cola product pulled up. I'm going to hit the duplicate, which is basically a cloning feature.
Okay.
And now I can either scan it from there or I just change one digit because it's basically almost the same except for the one digit.
Gotcha.
And then I change the title and then I save it. So it has the same exact properties of the previous product. I just cloned it.
Yeah, where did you do that? Oh, duplicate, I see. Okay.
Yeah, duplicate right here.
Right next to new, remove, cancel. Okay, all right. That's nice.
Yeah. There's a quick add one where you could basically run around the store and scan stuff and give it descriptions, prices, and departments really fast.
Yeah, okay.
I showed you the mass product one. Inventory we looked at. End of day report. Everyone wants to see the end of day sales.
Yeah, sure.
Basically everywhere in the system we have a really nice date picker. So you don't have to choose just one date. You can pick a range of dates.
Okay.
And then the PDFs, you know, the end of day report. Obviously, this is not a full day, but it's just an example.
Right.
You all sales by department, tenders, different credit cards, different cashiers.
Right.
Any gift cards or taxes. This is the same end of day, but in a weekly version. It's defaulted to the current week.
Right. Okay.
And then store sales gives you that same thing rather than on a PDF. It gives you right in front of the screen. So here's the totals at the bottom. Again, defaulted to today's date, but I can look at it monthly. So in a grocery scenario, you're always comparing You're comparing this year to last year and then the difference.
Yeah.
So August was good. I did 243 versus last year 230. I was a surplus of 13,000. But the next 2 months, I'm not doing that great.
Right.
November, I did 87,000 so far. Last year, I'm at 209. So in the next 17 days, I've got 122,000 to make up.
Better hustle.
Yeah. You can also do a sales comparison. So, like, let's say you want to analyze 2 weekends next to each other.
Okay.
Any date range versus another date range.
Okay. Gotcha.
I want to look at the past 2 Tuesdays. I want to look at the past 2 Mother's Day weekends. Something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
But the default is today's date versus the same day last year.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, which is a different day of the week, so it's not an exact, but that's all right. Yeah, let's start somewhere. All right.
There's a lot of different movement analysis I could show you.
Yeah.
Again, any date range, any department, or any vendor, I can show movers or non-movers for that specific time period. The gross profit margin is what everyone's really interested in. Grocers, that's really important to them. Product movement is the same thing, but except for individual products. I got great data on this salmon product because there's a lot of movement on it.
Right.
It defaults to like a 3-month date range, or one quarter.
Okay.
And now it's showing you weekly, or I could look at historical, which shows me monthly.
Okay. Yeah.
This year versus last year, again, the difference, cost, revenue, there's the margin, and pounds sold. I moved 1,400 pounds of salmon in this range.
A lot of fish. Yeah.
Yeah. Hourly sales is an awesome one to analyze
Right.
how your volume for the week. So I'm not going to be scheduling employees to go home at 4 o'clock when my peak is right about here at 5.
Right.
And that was Monday through Thursday. But if I do the same thing Friday through Sunday, looks like my peak starts like mid-morning and then goes all the way to dinner time. So I'm going to schedule my employees differently Monday through Thursday versus Friday through Sunday.
Right. Interesting.
In the store example, the smoothie girl, where's her?
Yeah.
This smoothie girl, she's basically her own department. She only sells beverages and drinks. And she's her own register. So if I only wanted to see how she did it at a particular time, I could just analyze the beverage department to see how busy she was.
Huh.
Okay. But that's for, in that scenario, that would work. Let me see. Analyzing the discounts. Let me go for a whole month.
Right.
Looks like I'm giving away $400 a month to my employees in October.
Right. Not bad.
Gift cards, awesome, because right now in the United States, I read some report, only 70% of gift cards are getting used. So that 30% stays in your bank.
Yeah. Do you guys do you have gift cards that we don't have any gift card things set up right now. Can you set that up?
Yes. It goes through your credit card merchant person. They supply you with the plastic cards, and then you load them from our pin pads.
Okay.
So it works exactly like a debit or credit card.
Okay.
The card vendor is your merchant services provider.
I see. So we would get cards from them.
Yes. There is a cost, but if you think about how much you get, you're making 30%.
Yeah.
In this scenario, that's exactly right. So the amount redeemed versus the liability is about 70%. I still have $5,000 in my bank off of $15,000 loaded.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make money on it.
Funny how that works.
Especially if you're in I'm not sure what kind of area you're in or who your competitors are, but if you're well known in your area and people give gift cards to each other for your store, you're gonna make money.
Right. That's true.
I can start to go a little bit faster, but I definitely want to show you the electronic journal.
Okay.
Because we're giving you the exact receipt, just in the electronic way of looking at it. And if you are using the signature capture, you can see the digital signature.
Oh, wow. Oh, so that's what that looks like.
I can show you. Let me try and find another one. Usually they're uglier than that. Just scribble on there.
Nice.
But I'm going to go and look at only credit card tenders right now for a date range. Whoops. And let me go to yesterday's date. Why did it give me it? I'm trying to find a better one. Because I don't even use my signature when I do it. I do a happy face.
Really?
So this store has it set where they don't do it for every credit card. They only do it for orders over $100.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know. I've noticed there's places under $20, under 25 or whatever. You don't need it.
So Visa, MasterCard, and American Express have basically released publicly that they do not require signatures on purchases $50 or less.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Just if you wanted the signature on there, but there should be no reason why you couldn't find a transaction in our system. You can search it by employee, by tender, by time range. I can even do it. Let me see who bought salmon today. There, 3 people bought salmon today.
Huh.
So there shouldn't be any reason why you couldn't find a transaction in our journal.
Oh, interesting.
No restrictions on history.
So that journal is regardless of how we do the credit card thing?
That's right. It's all transactions.
Wow.
Every keystroke, even see this red one? That's a canceled. That means they didn't buy anything.
Right. Fascinating. So, How long do these journals hang out?
Infinite, no limit.
No limit.
Because it's cloud, you have no restrictions to any of your data.
Yeah, and I guess the data on this is pretty low, but it's just like, wow. Okay, all right, that's pretty cool.
These guys, let me see. I think
go ahead.
Oh, they're just a 3-year-old store, so they've got data from last year. I can go to.
Right. Okay.
Let's just go to December last year for the journal. Let me go to 2018. There, it pulls up pretty fast.
Right.
It's cloud, so I'm looking at a purchase from. They look back then. They changed the receipt, so they even made their receipts look differently. That was a very basic receipt. So if I go to this year,
right,
they changed what their receipts look like. Yeah, it looks different in this one. Right. So that's a configurable setting. I can download the receipt, email it to someone.
Wow. Okay.
Taxes and fees. This is basic stuff. Setting up taxes, setting up bottle deposits.
Right.
I want to spend a little bit of time on employees.
Yeah, sure.
So here's my employee, Jean. She is active, although she doesn't have back-end access, but I can give her back-end access by giving her a username and a password.
Okay.
And a role. But if I go to Rose got fired, so I deactivated her.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
It doesn't delete her transaction history, but now she can't use her PIN to get on.
I see. Okay.
Same thing for Nicole. Okay, so Nicole, she is active. She's got a 4-code PIN. She doesn't have access to the back end. My manager, I created an employee called manager, and the manager does have back end access, and they've got an owner role. I'll explain roles in a minute. So roles are basically the permissions that you give people for what they can access on the front and back end. We've got roles for both. So here's a role named George, which is basically an employee that we gave a role to. He can only add products and access training mode. That's it.
Okay.
He's a super restricted employee.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
He has no back office role, but if I did, let's say he's my accountant, and I only want him to look at the store sales, but I don't want him to see product sales. I can uncheck or check anything I want him to see when he logs on.
Okay.
So let me go back to the roles. Here's a cashier role. They have, almost everything they can do. They can run the cash register, but they're still missing a few permissions. But a manager has more permissions, basically.
Right.
Same for the back end. Even though I've only created 2 roles, here's my manager role right here. I've given the manager just about all the permissions, but you can see there's a few things the manager doesn't have access to, where the owner role is like God mode, every single thing checked.
Yeah, that's why it should be, right?
Yeah. And then the time clock, I can create, shifts for clocking in, clocking out, and then run a report based on a date range. So weekly or however you pay bi-weekly, I can run a report to see all the hours where they clocked in and clocked out.
Okay. So it could be used as a time clock for more than just like say we have 3 people working in our store, but only 1 or 2 are going to be at the register like the third person could still clock in and out of here?
Easily. They could still do it from the front because they can still access the time clock from the front anytime. So is anyone in the room with you that that shouldn't see sensitive information?
No, I'm by myself.
Okay, never show this to a cashier. So here's Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole's a great employee. She opens the drawer. She's in blue and the store's in yellow. She opens the drawer a lot less than the store average. She doesn't do nearly as many voids as the store average. She did no refunds, no discounts, no cancels. And she did more transactions than the store. But Victor, wow, why is he opening the drawer so much? Why does he do like 3 times as many voids as the store average? No refunds and no cancels, but he's given away a lot of discounts compared to the store average.
Huh.
And he had more transactions than the store average. So let's say Victor, he's only a 2-week employee. Okay, you just need more training. But if Victor's been there 10 years, I'm going to want to kind of watch him.
Right. Interesting. Bunch of no sales. Huh. Oh, numbers of sales. Numbers of sales. Never mind.
Yeah, no sale means they open the drawer without doing a transaction.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, customers. We do have like a customer loyalty built in.
Okay.
There are third-party customer loyalty programs that do like a lot more, and we are adding more and more features, but right now, basically we can give them either tax-exempt privileges, in-store charge privileges up to whatever dollar amount we want.
Right.
We can assign them a card number, email address, phone number, see what their top purchases are. Looks like Marvin comes in for a lot of meat.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
He doesn't. We don't take checks at the store, so you can log their bad checks written, or if you want them to be allowed to write checks or not.
Okay.
People don't really use checks anymore, but
no, it's astonishing.
This is a spreadsheet for the date range I have inputted, basically of the ones who visited. I can also look at the ones who have not visited during that date range. Say I don't want to look at everyone all at once. I can just type in Scott and only pull up his information.
Okay.
Let's say I do collect all the email addresses and I want to send like an email blast. I can manipulate the columns to only show just the names and emails. Then I can export this to a spreadsheet and then drop it into like MailChimp or BombBomb or something, and then to tell everyone I got a sale that week or something.
How do you identify what, like, say you got, Scott is at the register buying something. How do we know it's Scott? Like, do we have a customer phone number? Is that, like, how does that? We don't have any customer thing, so.
Okay, so let's say you are starting to add customer loyalty. They fill out an information sheet, and you can have someone in the back office start adding the customers. Right now, in my lab, I only have these 4 customers added. You can add them by first name, last name, card number, which starts with a 004 prefix if you want to have a loyalty card.
Okay.
Or just phone numbers or emails. So however you want to add them to your system, you can use card numbers, first name, last name, email, or phone number.
Gotcha.
And then you'll add them, and then they'll show up. The cashier can search them either by number, name. It's pretty fast. You might have 10,000 customers, but if you just type in their unique phone number or last name, it'll pull up really quick.
Right. Okay.
And then what you can do with it is some of the stuff I showed you. You can track their visits or non-visits. You can see all these are sorting ascending and descending. You can see who your big spenders are. Or in-store charge privileges also allows you to have them like pay for stuff on account.
Right.
And you can control those limits. Like, here's this store. Looks like they're a liquor store. They're allowing them balances over $1,000, whereas everyone else is not. This must be some kind of family friend or something. But
right.
Anyway, I can export that invoice. I can email it to him. If they're in the store, I can just print it out and hand it to him. Hey, pay your balance.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Because right now we also have just a handwritten carbon, well, non-carbon, but triplicate sales book for. We have a few restaurants that we'll write up an invoice for. And I guess because I had thought we could probably do something in our point of sale system, but I was like, I don't know how to print out an invoice, but I guess this would just export an invoice. Does that export an invoice to like a PDF?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, right to a PDF, and then you can just hand it to them. But it'll also track them on the front end. Let's see, Dave. Dave has 0 loyalty points.
Right.
It'll track their balances of how much and their limits. So when I set up the customer the first time,
right,
I can set her up with what I want her limit to be. So it forces them to make a payment.
Right. You're like, hey, frequent shopper, thanks for stopping in. Can you make a payment? Yeah. Okay.
Or if they try to charge on their account, once they've reached their threshold, they'll have to pay with a different tender if they've reached it.
Now, all of this that you're like showing me is accessible on the register and or off the register as well, right?
Yes, because it's cloud. You can get into it from anywhere. So here's the Windows machine. We typically won't let them go behind the screen unless they're
okay, so not really on the register. It's better not on the register. Then that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, it's an option. You can.
I'd rather not, because if the register's busy all day long anyway.
Yeah, but the good thing about the cloud is you don't have to have a dedicated computer in your store. They can access this from their cell phone.
Right.
An employee can use a laptop, any device, a tablet, anything.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think all I really have left to show you is just like the setup stuff. Departments and the properties of each department, setting up the tenders, what each tender does at the point of sale, minimums and maximums, limits, requiring a signature or not. Like, here's that store that they require a signature over a certain amount.
Right.
What you want gift cards to do, settings, discounts. Here's the different discounts that this store has in here. Buy one, get one, quick sale, just the different discounts that this store uses.
Okay.
A list of the vendors and their product lists. If they're paying the vendors from the front end, it'll track it right here. Yeah, that's kind of like the 100 miles an hour demo.
Yeah, I had a thought and then I forgot it. It might come back. I don't know.
Do you want me to build you a quote? Wait, no, I built you a quote, I think.
Sure, why not? Oh, that's right. My question was the credit card swipe, well, the credit card reader.